Hey there, Rednecks, Preppies, Redneck Preppies. It's me, the Redneck Preppy. How are you doing today? Great, good. So lately, my YouTube feed has been choked by Altoids tin survival kit videos. Not sure why. I generally don't watch those videos, and if you've watched some of my survival kit videos in the past, I'm not a big fan of them. But something occurred to me. There's nothing wrong in principle with a pocketable survival kit. So I decided to put one together to see if I'd be satisfied to carry it. Now, I was originally going to use an Altoids tin, but I kind of ditched that idea because the important thing is that it fits in a pocket, not that it comes in a specific container. So I settled on this little pouch. It is larger than an Altoids tin, to be sure, in every dimension, but I consider this to be very pocketable. I mean, here's my hand for reference, for whatever that's worth, and it also has loops for a belt, if you prefer to carry it that way. It's not large, but there's a surprising amount of stuff in here that I think can help you to survive for at least a few days. Let's get into it. Now, there's nothing here in the front pouch, so you could potentially put something there if you really want it. Opening it up, we have two safety pins, useful for equipment repair, ad hoc fishing hooks, whatever other uses you can think of. There are two internal compartments, and in this first one we have a couple of bandages for minor first aid issues, and some bug repellent to make a life a little more bearable. If you've ever been out in the deep woods and experienced mosquitoes there, you will know that you will pay anything for a little bit of relief from those little bastards. All right, now inside the main compartment, we have a signal mirror. Not particularly large, but it'll work just fine. We get ourselves a whistle for signaling, and it also has here a little compartment that you could put stuff into. Tinder, paper, medication, whatever you can get to fit in there. There is also a liquid-filled compass. Now, I don't care much for these kind of button compasses, but as they go, this one's all right, and it is liquid filled, so that makes it better than I suppose it is better. But like I said, everything is a compromise in a pocket survival kit, right? All right, next up, we got ourselves a flashlight. Now, I know the tactical bros love to dunk on Olight, but I have a couple of them. They work just fine. At any rate, this one is the i3E EOS Mini EDC from that company. It's got a maximum output of 90 lumens and a throw of up to 40 meters. Well, I think that would translate into about 90 feet. Yeah, it's 2.5 feet per meter? Oh no, that's yard. All right, so scratch that. It is whatever it is. It's IPX8 waterproof, runs on a single AAA batteries, and all total with a battery it weighs about 19 grams. Now, what I don't love about it is it has a maximum run time of 45 minutes with an alkaline, but it does do better with a NIM battery with 75 minutes. I could toss an extra battery in the pack. There's certainly enough room for one. Next up, we got ourselves a small knife. You ain't going to be doing no bushcraft with this, but it is reasonably well made, and it has a 2.5-inch locking blade. It might look like it's flexing on camera. I think that's just an optical effect of the way I'm doing this, but this is in pretty solid. There's no play in that blade. So, you got yourself a knife. Next, a Bic lighter. Let's be honest, the easiest way to start a fire is with a lighter. There's also some Ranger bands on it to potentially serve as tinder, but you can find many uses for Ranger bands. They are awesome. We've also got ourselves a mini fishing kit, and in here we've got some lines, some hooks, some weights. I figured if you're an outdoors person, you could probably find your way into locating some lures for this, be it worms, night crawlers, whatever you can find. Put that there. Next, a ferrocerium rod. Not really necessary with the lighter, although lighters can be a chore when they're wet or cold. This doesn't take up much room, and it also has a bit of paracord that you can also use. Now, I couldn't fit a good hank of paracord in here, so I settled for some lighter cordage. There's about 6 feet in here, so it's enough to be usable, and it's very strong. It's a nylon cordage. I wouldn't take it mountain climbing or anything like that, but for most other uses, I think it'll be just fine. We've got ourselves, in the form of shelter, an emergency blanket. All you need to do to make a minimum shelter is a couple of boughs on the ground to lift yourself up off that giant heat drain that we call the earth, and then wrap yourself in this blanket. And it is 1.4 meters by 2.1 meters, so it's fairly sizable. It'll certainly cover you up. Next, we've got ourselves a small razor blade. Doesn't take up much room, and you can use it to process any fish or small game that you can catch. Decent sized piece of aluminum foil. You can boil water, cook your game, whatever you want. There's about a foot of duct tape here. Many uses for duct tape. I've gone over them in the past, and if you need a refresher, watch any of those videos or any videos on YouTube. They'll tell you exactly what duct tape can be used for. And finally, we have the water section. We have a 1 liter Whirl-Pak bag. Got ourselves a coffee filter for filtering water and removing any sediment before you actually treat it, with one of 6 Katadyn water purification tablets. Each tablet treats 1 liter of water, so you have potential for several days of water here, depending on your consumption. That, of course, depends on the activities that you're doing. And there you go, an eminently pocketable survival kit that weighs practically nothing. And if I wanted to shrink it further, I think I could easily ditch a few things like the bug repellent, which is buried under here. There we are. The aluminum foil and the ferro rod, and this thing would practically disappear on you. So if you don't want to carry a full-size survival kit, I think you could easily meet the most critical needs with this pocket survival kit. You got water, shelter, fire, and potentially food if you can catch it. All of the stuff in this kit can be readily and inexpensively bought. You have no reason not to be prepared. You'll probably spend more on coffee this month. Now, I have to say that this was a more valuable exercise than I thought it would be. I actually enjoyed the limitations of weight and space, which were forced on me to make decisions. It actually had a spillover effect on my full-size kit that you recently saw reviewed on this channel, and I actually made some changes there based on what I did here. That's a future video. All right, so what do you think? Did I miss something? Do you have additions, subtractions, or alternate choices? Feel free to make use of the comments section below. I read all comments, and you may actually influence a future iteration of this kit. At any rate, I hope you found today's video to be vaguely entertaining and mildly informative. As always, I hope your adventures in the wonderful wilderness are always safe. Take care, and bye-bye.